What is up, everybody? It's me, Anthony, back to talk to you about another TV series. And this time we're going to take a look at the new FX original series on Hulu, Shogun. So if you are new to this channel, I just talk about TV shows that I want to talk about, and we recap them, I review them, and then I give some theories about what's going to happen in the next episode. So if you're into that kind of stuff, hit the subscribe button, gotta promote myself. And if you want to take a look at a couple of other TV series that I've talked about on the channel, you can click right here or just go on my channel and look for them over there. We talk about a whole bunch of different stuff. So how this is going to go down is I'm going to give you the recap of this episode, then I'm going to give you a review for it, then we're going to talk about some theories for this said episode and probably the series as a whole. So without further ado, let's get into the first episode of Shogun, titled Anjin. The episode starts off on a Dutch trading vessel where we are introduced to John Blackthorne as he tries to get him and his crew to a land they never been before but only heard of, Japan. The captain of the ship tells Blackthorne that they will not make the trip and that their fleet has already dwindled since the voyage began. Time passes and we see a villager spot the Dutch ship making landfall on the Japanese shore. The Japanese army is called in to investigate the shipwreck and find John Blackthorne still alive, as well as a few others, and take them into custody. We cut to Osaka where Lord Toranaga and his men attend a meeting with 4 other lords of Japan because they think that Toranaga is plotting something and want him to be punished. The 4 lords know that Toranaga has taken their late leader's widow, Lady Ochiba, and believe he is using her as leverage. After the meeting, Toranaga receives a letter about the shipwreck and tells his close friend Tada Hiramatsu to go and investigate it. Back at the shipwreck, Blackthorne tries to talk to the Japanese soldiers, but they don't understand him, so they ask one of the local villagers who speaks his language to translate. Even with the translation, the Japanese soldiers don't obey Blackthorne's request and make him meet with their leader, Lord Labushke. But you can't tell by now, I'm probably going to be butchering most of these names. Just give me some slack here. He tells his translator, a priest, to ask Blackthorne what he's doing here. The priest lies and says that Blackthorne and his crew are dangerous and will cause trouble to everyone here. Blackthorne takes the priest's cross from his neck and throws it to the ground, showing that he doesn't agree with what the priest is saying. Yabushige likes this and tells the men to bring Blackthorne back to his place and clean him up. Back in Osaka, Lord Toranaga is playing with the young heir to the throne when they are interrupted by Lady Dione, who tells the young lord that he needs to practice his writing. Dione tells Toranaga that the rest of the lords plan to kill him and that once they are done, they're going to probably kill each other and the young lord. Toranaga says that he won't let that happen, and Dione says that she needs Toranaga to tap into his heritage and become a shogun in order to save the young lord. Back at the village, Lord Yabushige tells his nephew that he has done a great job at running the village and that things are changing soon because he thinks that Lord Toranaga will die soon since he is in Osaka. Hiramatsu arrives and says that he is taking the Dutch ship as well as all its supplies. Yabushige tells his nephew that there must be a spy in the village because Lord Toranaga knew everything he was planning. The guards bring out Blackthorne and say that they are taking him to Osaka. We are then introduced to probably the best character so far in the series, Rodriguez, who says that he will take care of Blackthorne. Rodriguez tells him Lord Toranaga wants to meet him. During the trip to Osaka, the ship is hit by a massive storm and Rodriguez lets Blackthorne free and tells him to tell the crew down below to row. Rodriguez is thrown overboard and Blackthorne throws him a wooden plank so that he can float away. After the storm dies down, Blackthorne and Yabushige go to look for Rodriguez. They quickly find him and Yabushige goes down to save him. While trying to save Rodriguez, Yabushige falls into the sea and is about to kill himself before he is saved by Blackthorne and the rest of his men. Back in Osaka, Toranaga meets with Mariko and tells her that he wants her to be his translator for the prisoner Blackthorne. Toranaga says that he thinks that their fates are aligned and that Blackthorne might be the person to change the tide in their battle. Back on the ship, Rodriguez says that he knows why Blackstone and the rest of his crew are here and shows him that he found his notes, which have orders to take out all the Spanish territories in Japan and establish their own trade with the Japanese. The episode ends with Blackthorne finally meeting up with Lord Toranaga and Mariko in the throne room. And that is it. That is the first episode for Shogun, and I gotta say, I'm really impressed with what we got so far. You can really tell that everybody involved in this show really put a lot of effort into making this feel authentic and just making it high quality in terms of the writing, in terms of the productions, everything is top notch. And FX on their YouTube channel actually released a couple of like featurettes that you would probably see on like a Blu-ray or 4K or DVD or something like that, showing some of the behind the scenes process of the making of Shogun. And it's really impressive. And like I said, you can tell that everybody involved in this was really committed to making this authentic and really good. And it shows. If I have any like downside or any negative to this first episode, it kind of feels like Game of Thrones, and you're probably thinking like, well, that's a good thing, right? Well, what I mean by that is there's so much information thrown at you, and there's so many characters with admittedly names that I am not used to pronouncing, as you can kind of tell with me probably struggling with some of the names during the recap. And it's just a lot of information to absorb at once, and you can kind of forget like who a certain person is and like what they are here for and what they're doing. It's just the first episode. Just like Game of Thrones, you're gonna get used to those names, and if you don't, you're just gonna make up names for them for yourself. You're gonna be like, that's the guy that doesn't like that one guy, right? But of course, let me know what you think of the first episode of Shogun in the comments down below. Did you like this first episode? Did you think it was too confusing? Let me know. Now we're gonna get into the section of theories, and there isn't that much stuff to theorize in this first episode because we kind of got the one theory, the one big theory that they posed in this first episode of like who is the spy in the village. It was the villager that sees the shipwreck, the Dutch ship, in the first place. He is the spy who is telling all this information. So there's a mystery solved there. I don't know if that guy is going to survive long enough because they're going to find out who he is, and I don't think they're going to be happy. But there is one question that is still unanswered. And again, it's just the first episode, so maybe this is going to be answered in the second episode, which I'll be talking about tomorrow. But that is, what does Toranaga want with Blackthorn? And for me, I'm thinking that since all the stuff that's going on with Toranaga, he knows that all the rest of the lords are coming towards him and pretty much want to kill him off and his whole kingdom. I think he wants to make an alliance with Blackthorn so he can get some more aid against the other four lords. And this might even help Blackthorn's goal because he wants to establish trade with the Japanese, and this is probably going to be that way where he can be able to do it. Blackthorn will send aid or word for like additional help for the Japanese, and then the Japanese, or just Toranaga and his group, like in Osaka, will do trade with the English. And I think that's gonna probably be the terms that they come to, but I'm really interested to see what they do. But of course, let me know what you think about and what other theories that you guys have in the comments down below. Is there any other mysteries that you want to be solved? Let's talk about them in the comments. But of course, guys, don't forget to like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, and subscribe to the channel because we are growing at a rapid pace. Thank you guys so much for the love and support of the last series that we were talking about, Constellation. I'm still going to be talking about that show. It's just there's no more episodes right now, so we got to wait till like I think Wednesday is the next time that the episode comes out, and we're going to be talking about that. That is a whole nother craziness, but we're going to continue to talk about Shogun, and if you want to hear more about that, this is the place to be. So don't forget to subscribe. Thanks again, guys, and as always, keep watching.